and a family and like 12 kids or something. Like it, like I don't believe it anymore. Like, come on. I mean, I used to play Fallout 3 in the evenings, and some weekends we would like marathon. But like that's because I had an academic job, and it was like Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, and then between semesters I'm off for like a month, Like I have time. But, you're building rockets and electric cars and, it's hard to say. But anyhow, but I want to be in a good mood. Actually, I was thinking about something, and maybe it's ridiculous and it wouldn't matter, and it has no real utility. But I was looking at, like, what if there was a bot that, of course, it's ChatGPT, but it takes Elon Musk posts a lot of things, and what if we take his posts and ask ChatGPT to make it like the opposite in meaning, and so we could have like opposite Elon or something, and like Saint Elon, and like so when he mainly says a lot of negative things. That would be kind of funny, actually. Like all the posts and just like opposite. Like what would it do? Maybe get some followers, but like there's no real utility. Like I don't know, post English squared on it or something about seawater desalination. I can't think of a single useful, because he runs the platform. So if he doesn't like it, he'll just get rid of it. Yeah. There's that kid, that young, not really kid, like teenager, who hacked in and was able to found Elon Musk's aircraft, and like posts it, like where his aircraft is at all times. And Elon offered to pay him to take it off, and he's like, no. and he was just posting it on Twitter, and finally then like Elon took it off of Twitter. Oh. And even since we last spoke, oh my goodness, like now the Brazilian army is putting like armored vehicles and soldiers up around the Venezuelan and Guyana border. Yeah. I mean, the basic idea, though, you can't just take your army and annex part of another country these days. I mean, like that, that just doesn't work anymore. It causes a lot of problems. And, I mean, it would probably be the United Nations. I mean, even just like with the first Iraq war, the UN, it was mostly the U.S., but a lot of other countries too. It was under the guidance of the UN. You are allowed to kick Iraq out of Kuwait, but no more. And they did. They stopped at the Iraqi border. A lot of people asked, why didn't you go and finish them off? And President Bush Sr. said, because that's what we were, there to do. We weren't there to like conquer Iraq and annex Iraq. We just want them out of Kuwait. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Some say that it might just be he's not that popular in the elections coming up, and so just like have a popular war. Take some territory. Like, hey, look, I'm a cool guy. But anyhow, but the dispute has been going on for a long time, over a century. So we'll see. But yeah, oh my goodness. Anyway, that's why I deal with seawater. Today, I went to the gym, then I walked to the sea. I have another 1.5 liters of seawater, and I'm boiling it off to get, like, I need a greater range of seawater instead of just like 3.5, 3.7, 5, 7, 10, 27. I need like 14, 18, and so I can do that if I have 500 milliliters of seawater at 3.7%, and then I evaporate, half, or 4 times of it off, then I should have higher levels of salt. So this is harder than I thought it would be. Yeah, because really, I mean, these are really getting, I mean, even in Chinese it says plasma generator. And I have 4 of them. And yeah, and like I said, it produces a lot of ozone, and I get a lot of I get headaches. And I mean, the good news is I don't think I will ever get coronavirus or the flu if I stay in here. Because like it just kills off everything in the air. and when we have there's a holiday called Las Fallas, and when that happens, I'm not gonna have to. I can close my window and run the air cleaners, the ionizers, and they will get rid of all the particles, the particulates in the air. But I might die from like ozone poisoning. It's like you can't win either way, like one way or another. You can eat right, go to the gym, take vitamins, no bad habits, and like get hit by a bus. Like what, Or go out into the sea and I get stung by a jellyfish and have an allergic reaction. I don't know what to do with this. But I think all will be well. But it is kind of stressful, really. And I did start, I don't know if I told you, I started a position. It's very part-time. It's like 2 to 4 hours a week. But it's with my university, Kiev Polytechnic. It's announcing and reading text in English. Like there's nothing, it's not being a professor or anything. But I've been doing this for them for like 2 years. First as a volunteer, then they paid me in an envelope. But now it's actually official contract employment with the state university. Whoops. No problem. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So like I was working on this research, and then I got a text message, hey, we need you to go into the Ukrainian bank computer, and that was like 45 minutes. And but they were asking, like I asked them though, how many hours per week do they expect me to work? Because I'm happy to do it, but it's 7,000 hryvnia is $198 a month. And my rent is 1,400 euros, just for comparison. And I'm like, I hope they don't expect me to work like 40 hours a week so I can like starve in Spain. Oh my goodness. And they're like, no, we understand. I'm like, yeah, but it'll be like 2 to 6 texts per week that you read. It ends up being like $50 an hour, at least it was in the past. So it's really not bad, and I'm happy to do it. I've done it for free before because the university, they really need it. They don't have a lot of cash given the war. So, but yeah, I read it because they asked me, "Are you still in Ukraine?" And I'm like, "No, I'm in Spain." And I'm thinking, I am not going back to Ukraine to work. Really, I wouldn't go back to Ukraine to work for any job because my family is, and it would have to be like $100,000 a year or something. And even then, like, I don't know, I'll do it remote, but because it's not looking good. But anyhow, I mean, we just kind of do what we can. But so how was your week with, are you working, you're working on the website project? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to, it's like you said, like the largest private education company in Brazil. And that's big. And yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, I have a couple of students who are going to be off until like the new year. Um, I'm just kind of wondering what to do with this. Like, um, sometimes I think about, I mean, just to be honest, sometimes I think about kind of shutting it down. Because it's not really, I mean, I don't know. It's my idea, my hope a year ago was to start to transition to working for English Squared and just have my own company, and I would love to do that, do research in English Squared. That's really what I want to do, because if I just did research, I mean that's great, but I get a lot of joy, like we talked about, out of talking to people from around the world, getting feedback on even different dissertations, and I would miss that if it was just me, ChatGPT, and a couple of scientists. Really, it's not as amazing as it sounds. It's cool, but over 2 years go by and you just spent your time in the laboratory with 3 or 4 people. You go to conferences, but that's true. Yeah, even Professor Giancarlo at Blumenau. He's going to come to Valencia. He teaches like marketing and innovation for industry, and I mean they go to go to masters and PhD councils to see if you're going to award the masters or PhD to the student, write papers to conferences, and even I mean he's a full-time professor, and like they pay money. First of all, they do a lot of writing. Worked on one paper for 2 years. Then they submit it to a journal. They have to pay to do that. And then when the journal accepts it, they have to sign off saying, by the way, we have the rights to this. So he says, the journal's going to get paid for my work for like really, like, I don't know, 1,000 years. 100. There are journal articles that are 120 years old in electrostatics in my field. Van de Graaff and people that worked on some, particle colliders and all accelerators and all this amazing stuff. They're long dead. Their grandchildren are dead, and somehow this journal is going to get paid for it. Like, is demanding $25 to read it. It's just, boy, the world, I tell you what, it's like I woke up at age 47 and said, my goodness, everybody wants to get paid. Like, there's always a catch. I think, who was it? George Carlin. He says, the game is rigged, folks. the game is rigged. But I don't want to be cynical. But, so I'm not really sure what to do about it. I like the idea of it. I think definitely there needs to be some kind of AI or some way to leverage it, like we talked about. I've been messing with... Oh, I went to the webinar. Did I tell you about that? Okay, yeah, I did. And it was pretty good. I think it's a very useful tool. And yeah, and you can make an avatar of yourself, which is pretty helpful. Yeah, well, they do say you have to, when you go to make this video of this avatar, you have to also have your camera on and say, I, Aaron Harford, agree to having my likeness for an avatar. But the thing is, what if you do like a quick avatar that says, hi, my name is Aaron Harford. And it could be like a 23-year-old girl from Taiwan. Like, And I wonder if their algorithms are designed to detect that, or if it's just legalese so they don't get sued. Of course they are. Yeah, that's kind of what they do. I mean, the EU, it's a good place to live in a lot of ways. Not really good for startups, but it's a good place to live. They have more protections for consumers, it's true. And the healthcare is good. But I don't know. It's like Italy banning it. They literally banned ChatGPT. And, not the most forward-thinking, but new technologies are always met with either people think too much of it or too little, or they're afraid. And I see a lot of this stuff. It's really useful, but we're not there yet. But we're getting there. I don't know what this is. Valencia is a nice place to live, though, I have to admit. And kids are out playing on the swings. And we have a lot of doves here, too. I've never seen this many of them. It's doves, type of bird, doves. And they're singing all the time. They're doing the hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. And, what are they called? Ah. Uh-huh. Quiero. Quiero. Ah. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh. Brazil, Argentina, that's Chile. Wow. It's a very popular bird. Yeah. It's really amazing to me the kind of life we have on planet Earth. If you look at jellyfish, birds, mosquitoes, horses, trees, and to think that somehow there's not life on other planets. Like, look at all the stuff we have here. If you look at like a jellyfish or a mosquito or a fly up close, and plants, and if you said this was from another planet, I could believe it. You know, this is from a different planet. This is from under the ocean on Europa. You know, it's some type of jellyfish. You know, it's really just quite amazing. I don't want to study biology, but I find it very interesting. Yeah. Okay, I need to stop this.